Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm super happy to have all of you here today. Anyways, today's video is going to be about the fertility specialist. So I haven't really told you guys a whole lot besides Bryce and I are going to a fertility specialist. So I'm going to tell you everything that has happened thus far with the fertility specialist. So I went to my family doctor and I was like, hey, it's been like a year. We've been trying to get pregnant. We're having no luck. I'd really like if you could refer us to a fertility specialist. Sorry, this is bothering the crap out of me. Anyways, and she was like, yeah, for sure. So she sent a referral and she's like, it could take like up to 3 or 4 months for you to hear back because like they're super busy. I was like, that's fine. I understand that. We'll just keep doing what we're doing and we'll hopefully, I was really hoping that we would get pregnant before we had to go to the fertility specialist. That's not how it worked. Anyways, so luckily I have my handy dandy day planner. It's my best friend. I use it for work and I use it for personal life, and y'all can make fun of me if you want, and that is totally fine, but that's what's up. Okay, so our first appointment with the fertility, Our first fertility appointment, I got a phone call from the doctor's office from her secretary. She's like, I have an opening Friday the 4th of October. It was our very first appointment. Prior to this appointment, she sent blood work to my family doctor who called me and got me to come in and I did blood work. Okay, sweet. So off we go to this gynecologist, fertility doctor, same thing, different pile, appointment. So it was really interesting. We walk into the office, they take all your personal information, they take my weight, height, blood pressure, and it was nice. I mean, Bryce and I got to look at the wall. There was a huge wall, you guys, of like a ton of baby pictures of everybody this clinic has helped. We feel like it was a good decision to go here. So we got called in early. We got called in about like 9:30. So a little, not long before our appointment, but earlier. We got called in and she just asked basic information about like, did you do this when you were a teenager? Have you tried this? What are we doing? She's like, are you having sex every day? If you are, I'd suggest that you switch it to every second day. When are your periods? How long are they? How bad are they? You know, how long have you been trying? Anyways, I have 2 apps. I showed her both my apps, let her look at like everything I've entered. Medication you're taking, they ask you about. And then she said, okay, so we're going to go with every second day for sex, not every day. They did a testosterone blood test on Bryce, and his testosterone is a little bit lower, like not dangerously like make you freak out low, but like lower than they think to see it at his age. So they said to switch sex to every second day. Then she's like, I need to look at your vagina, basically is what she said to me. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I get undressed, you get on the table, whatever. She decided to do a pap smear. And the funny thing about this is, one, it already had a pap smear this year, but the second was Bryce was in there. Bryce, why would he ever come when I got a pap smear? So anyways, he was in there. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to do the pap smear. So she grabbed the spreaders. And I look over at Bryce, who's sitting on my right, and his face is just like looking at this thing. Like, she has a big sheet, so he can't see down there or what she's doing or whatever, but he can see it. He's seen it when she grabbed and turned and obviously here with the stretching part of it. His face was just just terrifying, and I kind of started to giggle. Then she grabs the I guess a giant Q-tip basically, and his face was just he was so disturbed. Afterwards, he asked me all about what those things were and what they do. But yeah, so then she also did a internal exam. Now, it was not painful, but it was not comfortable. She shoves her freaking hand in your vagina. It's uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable talking about this, but I'm telling y'all. So if you're thinking of a fertility specialist, anybody who's in my boat, who's been trying for a while, and you're like, hey, we got an appointment or we want to make an appointment, y'all need to expect this, okay? So I'm letting everybody know what's up. So she did an internal exam, which included, like I said, her hand being inserted, and she pushes on your ovaries and like feels around in there. It doesn't hurt, but it is super uncomfortable. Like, it's not the best thing in the universe. So anyways, she finishes that up, and she's like, okay, you get dressed and I'll be back in. So whatever, get dressed, wait for her, she comes in. She's like, hey, so as far as I can see, everything with my exam today is perfectly fine and perfectly normal. She said, I'm going to send you guys home with a two papers, one for each of you. Basically, she wants blood work on day 3 and day 21 for me, which I've done before, but I'm going to do it again. I already did my day 3. And a dye test is to come up. And a dye test is where it's called an HSC test, actually, but it's a dye test. So she's like, what you have to do is you call my office the first day of your period, and we'll book you an appointment in for then. So I was like, okay, sweet. And she's like, we also need a semen analysis test from Bryce. And she's like, so I'll send you home with the requisition, and it has to be here or to the hospital within 30 minutes of like him doing the deed. And when I was like, okay, well, that's kind of hard because we're literally an hour and a half away from this city. Like, there's just no way. And she's like, I'm going to let you guys figure out how you're going to do it. She's like, but you only have 30 minutes. You have to get it here, like, on time. Okay. She's like, okay, so I'll see you guys then. Go to my receptionist. She'll fill in the rest for you guys. I have to go to my next appointment. So we're like, okay. So we go out there. She gives us the papers. She just reminded me that on my first day of my next period, I have to give them a call and let them know I'm having my period. Okay. So I got my period, of course, on a Sunday, guys. So I got my period on the 27th of October, and obviously their office is called, so I called on Monday, the 28th of October, and I was like, so I got my period on the 27th. I called on the 28th. She was like, okay, I'll get back to you. I'll give you a call back. So she called me back within 20 minutes, which I thought was pretty impressive, and they set me up an appointment for Halloween, like October 31st. And I was like, okay, but what happens if I'm still on my period? Because, like, I just got my period on Sunday. And she's like, oh, no, that's fine. Like, normally people are on their periods. So I came home on Monday after work, and I told Bryce about this. And he had panicked all week. He was panicking, like, literally freaking out about how he was going to do his semen analysis. He's just like, what am I going to do? Is there a way that I can do it when I'm in training in this other city? So I called the office, and I was like, can he do the semen analysis while he's in this other city for his training? She said, no, unfortunately they only have offices, not the hospital you can drop it off at, and you have to book an appointment. So therefore he had to do his analysis on the 31st. So 31st comes, and our appointment is for 1 o'clock, and we're heading in, and all the way to the city he's like panicking about how he's going to do this. He's like, I'm not going to just like do my thing in the car with you, like that's weird. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be a little strange. Like, it's for a good purpose, obviously, but it's also a little, like, weird. So anyways, we get to the hospital. I check in. He checks in, too, because he technically hasn't done his sample, so he has to be admitted. So I had to go to x-ray. He had to go to lab, which were, like, right beside each other, which was nifty. So I went. I checked in. They told me to sit, and he was like, okay, I'll see you in a bit. And I expected Bryce to be gone for, like, a half an hour. And, like, we were super early. We were there at 11:40, and our appointment wasn't until 1. But, like, I wanted to give Bryce time and, like, do his thing. He comes back 2 minutes later, and I was like, wow, like, that was impressive. And he's like, no, I didn't do anything. So they were like, yeah, because you haven't actually done what you need to do. You need to go home and do your thing and then bring it back. And I was like, did you say, like, we live over an hour and a half away from this city or any city, and I can't go home? And so he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go for a walk and, like, find myself an area and just, you know, I'm going to do my thing. And I was like, that's fine. I don't want any other details. You do you, and I'll stay here. So at 11:55, the x-ray tech called me in, and she brought me into this really big room. Obviously, it was like an x-ray room, but it was also not like an x-ray room. It kind of looked like an operation room at the same time. And you have your own private bathroom and everything. You get a gown and a robe and like towels and pads and like all this stuff in this bathroom. You have to do a urine analysis to make sure that you're not pregnant. Obviously, I had my period, so I knew I wasn't, but I wasn't. So obviously you strip everything because you're also in an x-ray machine. So your earrings, everything have to come out because you're going in that too. And you become totally naked besides you put your gown on. So then, yeah, we go in the room and I was like, okay, well, I was done my period yesterday. Like the day before, the 29th, was just brown spotting and there was nothing else. Like normally she said like brown spotting is like on the day they come in. But like I was done my brown spotting the day before. So she's like, that's fine. So she takes it. She's like, okay, so the doctor can't be here till 1. It's now 12 o'clock. She's like, you're just going to have to sit tight. Is there anyone who's coming or wants to be with you? And I was like, well, my boyfriend is here somewhere in the hospital. He had to run and take a phone call. Totally lied. And he wants to be in here. And she was like, okay, well, let the front desk, like x-ray, know that he wants to be here and tell him to just check in there and they'll bring him down. Sit tight. So I sat there till about 12:20 or something, just watching videos and playing on my phone. And Bryce calls me and he's at the front desk and they're letting him in. But luckily the tech that had taken my urine analysis actually was going up to the front desk and overheard this. So she brought him down and she was like, okay, so your urine analysis was a negative. And we're going to proceed with the procedure today. I'm going to give the doctor a call and the x-ray technician a call. Oh, and this like nurse slash tech, I don't really know what she was called, I had a trainee with her too. So woohoo. Anyways, so she's like, we'll be back. Also, she's like, because there's an x-ray, she's like, Bryce, either you can stand with her and you get to wear one of those fancy like cover-ups, or you can go and stand behind the glass. That's totally up to you. And she's like, I'll let you guys discuss. She was back like 2 minutes later, not even. It was like a minute, maybe. She came back, she's like, your doctor's going to come down right away. We're going to start getting you prepped. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I thought we had a half an hour, right? We didn't. So I get on the table and they like get you all comfortable and situated and in the right spot. And you have to lay there. Bryce decided to be there holding my hand beside me the whole time. So we put the little suit on. And okay, doctor walks in. She goes, okay, you got to, spread your legs. And they have a long catheter, literally like this freaking long, inserted into your uterus, through your vagina, into your uterus. So, like, obviously they have the spreaders, which is uncomfortable. And then you have to cough because she has to grab your clitoris. And then she uses like a clamp on that, which is uncomfortable. And then she puts the catheter in, which you really don't feel. You just kind of feel like a pinch. Like, it's not really that bad. And then obviously it's a dye test, so they're going to insert the dye. Rewind for a second. When I first got in there, the girl that grabbed me, the tech, explained what they were going to do and that they were going to use cleaner and that they were going to use dye and the catheter. They explain all this to you and it's all very sanitary. Anyways, fast forward back and she's like, okay, so when I insert this dye, you're going to have a period cramp. It's going to feel like a period cramp. And I'm just like, I got this, because honestly, my period cramps sometimes knock me to my knees. They hurt so bad, so I've got this. This is nothing. Okay, so we're sitting there. She inserts it. I have never, ever in my entire life felt pain like that. I have my back and my ribs tattooed, and I would rather do those again. That was the worst pain in my entire life. That was not a period cramp. That was every single period cramp I've ever had in my entire life, all happening at once. It was awful. I was crying. I clenched up. One nurse was holding me down. The other one was on my other leg. Bryce was holding my hand and just telling me to breathe and squeeze. He's like, it's going to be okay. I was bawling. It hurt so bad. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know I want to have a baby, and obviously that is going to hurt. But, like, this was the worst thing ever. Having a baby has a purpose. You're having a baby. Like, oh. And I mean, this does have a purpose because it lights up your tubes and your fallopian tubes and your ovaries up like a Christmas tree so you can make sure everything was working fine. But holy fudge! It was awful, you guys. It was the worst thing. And Bryce literally said it was the hardest thing he has ever had to watch because there was nothing he could do for me at all besides look at me in absolute pain. He's like, I've never seen your face like that before. I was in the worst pain of my entire life. Like, it was so bad, you guys. It was awful. And you have nurses and everyone telling you, just breathe, it's going to be fine. Everybody's in your face and they're holding your arms and rubbing you. This x-ray lady comes in. She's got to take an x-ray. I'm crying. They're rubbing my legs. They're trying to keep me in place. And it's just, it was too many voices for me. Like, it was too much. I just needed to hear Bryce. That's all I needed. So I just kind of drowned everybody out and just focused, and I breathed and I breathed and I breathed. And I just kind of tried to keep myself calm and relaxed. And it was over. They took the catheter out, took everything out, and she said, look, everything looks great, like everything. So that's really good. But I was in pain for the rest of the day. Like, it was awful. I was in pain the rest of the day. You sit up, you leak out like blood and dye, and they clean you with iodine on the inside. They clean your uterus and clitoris with iodine before they insert the catheter. So you leak out that. You go to the bathroom, that's what you have. So that's why they give you a pad and all that. But yeah, she's like, everything looks great. By the way, guys, I don't know if any of y'all have done this, but your insides do not look like a textbook. The way textbooks look with like the perfect tubes and like the perfect round ovaries, nah, that is not how your insides look, okay? Your tubes are these tiny, they look like a bloody worm squiggly line to your ovaries, which are not round, okay? Maybe one part of it is round, but my one ovary looked like a potato. It was shaped like this funky looking potato. Like, that's how my potatoes look from my garden. And my other one was like this long, skinny, freaking looking thing like that. Like, that is how my other, like, it was tinier, but like, that is not what it looks like. The textbooks lie. They lie to you. That is not how your ovaries and your tubes look. So anyways, she said everything looked good, and it did. The dye went right through to my tubes, to my ovaries. That was great, but I was in pain the rest of the day. Yeah, went to the bathroom afterwards, got changed, got dressed. Bryce was kind of like standing in the bathroom, kind of like, are you okay? Like, trying to relax me. I was okay, just I was tearful after, but I was also embarrassed. Like, I was embarrassed at my reaction. Like, because I was just like, hey, she told you were going to have cramps. But it was like nothing I've ever felt before in my entire life, you guys. It was the most painful thing I have yet ever felt in my life. It was awful. And I think I was like embarrassed / shocked because they say cramping, but like, no, that was bad. So I had to sit up and just like relax. The cute thing is the nurse that grabbed me was like, you know what? We have never had a couple like you two in here. She's like, you guys are really cute, because normally the women come in all by themselves and they go through this all by themselves. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. So basically she said, get your 21-day blood work done, give me a call, and we'll get you come in and we'll talk over what our next steps are and what our next plan is. But she also said, now that I've done this procedure, it's the time for you guys to like get going. I was like, but I'm not even ovulating. She's like, no. She's like, but out of 15 women that I've done this to, she's like, I've had 10 women out of 15 become pregnant after I do this procedure. She's like, don't ask me why. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm a professional doctor and I have no clue. She's like, but yeah, people get pregnant afterwards. She's like, I gotta go deliver some babies, so we will see you in a few weeks. So I was like, okay. So yeah, we left, and I cramped all day. When I went to the bathroom, it was like brown. I wasn't bleeding, but it was like brown stuff, like the iodine from being cleaned and all that coming out. And I cramped the next day, still on and off throughout the day. I still had, like, it was like big clumps of clear stuff coming out, which was the dye was coming out. It was an experience that I'll never forget, and something I feel like other people should be prepared for. Like, other people should know what is coming to you, because it was not awesome. It was painful and shocking. It's a shocking pain, because you can't even imagine what it's going to be like. because I thought I had her in the bag, guys. I did not have her in the bag. I was so underprepared. It's insane. Yeah, it was bad. So yeah, that is the fertility specialist, what we have had happened, where we're at, and where we're going. Our next thing is my 21-day blood work, and then give her a call, say I did the blood work, and then she will book us an appointment. Of course, once that happens, I will do another video saying probably like fertility specialist update, sharing with you our next plan and what is going on. Of course, we're still hoping that this is our month. We're always hoping and praying every single night that this month is our month to conceive a beautiful baby. So fingers, toes, everything that you can cross is crossed. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Hope I didn't bore you too much. Hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions, please ask, because I will share to the nines with anybody who wants to know and be prepared for this. If you have any comments, whatever, leave them. I am all ears. I'm all open. I love comments. I love questions, because I wish somebody would have been able to prepare me for this and really like let me know what was going on. So yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, don't be afraid to leave them below, or contact me some other way and find me. I always put my Instagram information, my Facebook, Snapchat, anything on there. My Young Living info is on there if you're interested in ever getting into Young Living or trying some of the products, which I highly recommend. So yeah, thank you so much again for watching and tuning in and staying with me, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to give my channel a big old thumbs up. If you like what you see here today, it gives my channel a little bit of extra support, which is always needed, of course. If you like what you see here today, you want to see more, you want to be on top of it, hit the subscribe button down here somewhere, and that'll make it so that when you log onto YouTube or go onto your YouTube app, my video is on your homepage. If you really like what you see, you really don't want to miss when I'm posting, you hit the bell. Now what that bell does for you is it will send you like a text message or an email alert saying, yo, Janessa Ray has just posted a video. So you're never missing when I or whoever else posts a video. All right, guys? So I hope you have a wonderful day. Like I said, thank you so much for tuning in. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them. Find me. I am more than happy to answer. See you.